Hello, and thank you for tuning in to the Parent Trap Podcast. In life, there are a lot of traps, and parenting is definitely a big one. My name is Laria, and I am your host. I created this podcast so that minority parents have a space where we can talk about real problems through some real families. Now, I want you guys to tune in. We will be posting episodes Monday bi-weekly. You can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, as well as Podbean. We're going to have some great topics. We're going to dig deep into our culture and make this trap of parenting a little bit easier to maneuver through. Go ahead and subscribe to our show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, welcome to the first episode of the Parent Trap Podcast. And boy, has this been a long journey, but it is here. I hope you guys really get something great out of what we're going to do on this podcast. But my name is Laria Brent, and I'll be your host for this show. I'm just excited. This podcast came about because I mentor youth. I have been mentoring youth for about 8 years, and even dealing with my own child and people in the family and in my community, what I realized is that parenting is the struggle. It's a whole trap. And during the time where I was struggling with parenting, I'm looking all over for different things, podcasts, books, and just different things that I can read up on or like hear different experiences. And what I've noticed is that not a lot was out there relating to my culture. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, these stories are great, but I kind of come from a different background. I have different experiences, and I need something that is going to speak to my upbringing. And every ethnic background has different norms, and I need something that's going to speak to the norms of my background. So why not create it? So here we are with the Parent Trap Podcast, which is a podcast geared towards minority parents. And I hope you're listening and you take something great from it and it touches your life. Our first episode is going to be about screen time. And if you don't know what screen time is, I'll define it really quick. It is just any technological device that you can use to stay connected to the world, whether it be a video game, iPad, tablet, computer, cell phone, going on social media, doing different things online with YouTube and creating different programs. I know they have a lot of STEM programs now and coding, but screen time in general. So today we have an awesome guest with us. She is a friend and inspiration to me. She's inspired me a lot on my journey of parenting in so many different ways, which I'll talk about. But without further ado, Miss Dominique.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me.
And Dominique, give a short intro just on your background and who you are.
So my name is Dominique. I am the mother of two phenomenal boys, Laurel and Latrell, 11 and 14. Like Larry said, that's a trap. Parenting. My background flows through just working with youth in general and parents. I am or have been a family coordinator, a parent coordinator. I'm the youth leader at my church, working with the youth, middle school and high school ages, mentor, mother, as I've spent what I've said before, and 9 to 5, an educator for MPS, which is Milwaukee Public Schools, and my own business that I'm very proud of is Cedar Connections. And again, I'm just serving parents. So the whole bulk of what we do is we cultivate parents that cultivate families.
Okay, well, that's good. So today we're going to talk about screen time. Like I said, just the use of technology. Before we get into it, I want to give you guys some stats on like screen time. This is from the Center for Disease Control. It was on their website, and it just gave some information about screen time in different age groups. So, on average, kids ages 8 through 10 are on their devices about 6 hours a day. So that was like a little bit alarming, but it's like, okay, younger kids will watch cartoons and, want to play little games or whatever. So, but 6 hours seems to be a lot. And I think they're incorporating school day as well. Because sometimes at different schools, they try to keep update with technology. They have Chromebooks and smart boards. So at least an hour a day on that is some type of productivity with math programs and reading programs. So yeah, but 6 hours a day, students ages 8 to 10. Now, for ages 11 to 14, it increases to 9 hours a day. Yeah, that is a whole lot.
Workday.
Entire, think about it, from the moment you, including commute, because work days be 8 hours, sometimes 9. Imagine that, like, the whole time they're using some type of device into technology. That's major influence, and we know whatever you feed the most grows the most. Then the last one, students ages 15 through 18, 7.5 hours a day. A little less than the previous group, but that's still very high. And me just knowing and being around teenagers, I'm sure it's cell phone. I'm sure it's social media, because that's what most teens are on nowadays. So it's safe to say that technology is influencing majority of our kids. I remember growing up, I would spend that amount of time outside. Like, we'd wake up, especially in the summertime, we wake up, eat whatever else, hang out on the porch, but we'd literally be outside during those hours. And I just think of, like, the experiences that kids are missing by sitting in front of screens that long, and like the socialization that they're missing out on.
Imagination, creation of games.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of our games we created. Like, we made something out of nothing.
Yes.
Like, there was no I was bored when we were growing up.
Right.
Like, we didn't know what bored was because we created our own fun.
Yeah. Ghetto moment. We used to make go-karts. We would pop the wheels off the car. I know if you from Milwaukee and you ain't made the ghetto go-kart growing up in the 90s, you were not living. Sorry. My brother.
Or because we didn't have all that money like that. Remember the basketball courts out of the crates?
Crates, yes. Made a way out of no way for the culture.
And now they have double dutch ropes. We had whole phone
cords, yes.
And I used to get a whooping because my mom used to be like, girl, you had to bring my phone cord back in this house. Yes, and then using my mom's phone cord.
And for those of you that don't know, yes, phones had cords.
Yep. Yeah, part.
They had cords. They were long and white, and they went in the walls. If you see an older home, or like a home that wasn't built like after 99, you'll see the phone jacks. But honestly, the new homes, they don't be having phone jacks.
Look, I'm looking at.
No,
yeah,
you got one right there.
When you do it, okay.
But a lot of the newer homes, they don't have the phone jacks, or like they got to get installed. But yeah, popping the cans off the wheels off the garbage can to make go-karts, the crates for the basketball hoops, double dutch. We made a way out of no way, and we have fun. 5-minute crafts where we were the crafts. Okay, so why are we having this conversation? We are having this conversation because of the reason, the whole question of how do kids use technology. And so many parents didn't grow up with it, and they are so out of touch with the apps they're using, what these apps do, the dangers, the positives, the negatives, all that. Like, parents are like, I don't know how to work this thingamajig, and our kids are on them and we have no clue, and they're getting exposed to things that you wouldn't even think that a child at a certain age should be exposed to. So we're going to just, I want to talk about just some stuff personally. Starting out, I would say my son, I have an 11-year-old. At the time, he was like 6 or 5, and an older relative in the family, like a preteen, his friend was over and they were looking on the phone. And my son come in my room and close the door. He's like, Mom, um I don't want to say the kid name and bust him out, but he's like, so and so and his friend, they looking at stuff on that phone. And I'm like, what? Like, okay. And he was like, no, mom, I saw a girl's chest on that phone. I'm like, oh my gosh. So, come to find out, they were watching porn, whatever else was going on. And I was about to give away who it was. But this child got heavily into it to where, like, he was so attached to watching porn that he got in trouble at school. He like had viruses on the computer. He had learned, then the private browsing feature came out. He was on someone's phone during doing the private browsing thing, but didn't close out the private browser. Like, he was addicted, and it was just like we had to go through whatever. Men was like, ain't nothing wrong with it, he whatever. But it's just like, this, I watched it as a kid. It's not the same stuff you watched, and that doesn't change the fact that we have a different standard. Yeah, like, what are your deficiencies because you was exposed to that so early? Why are you so promiscuous and can't stay faithful in a relationship? Because you were exposed to that early, and we didn't want that for them. So we took necessary precautions, like talked to him about it, got some additional support to where, thank God, eventually he branched off of it. But that was just something, at the time, it's like, okay, they're on the phone, whatever. What they playing, Snake? Y'all remember the Nokia Snake game? But Angry Birds, no, they was looking at whole bodies. Yeah. And the stuff nowadays is a lot deeper. And some of the stuff he was looking up was like, it was sexy moms and sons and stuff like that. And it was like this adult and child type thing going on with grown women, and it was just disturbing. Like, the fact that that's even out there at the tip of their fingers. Like, if your child has a smartphone, they can literally just type the right words in a search engine and it was there. Right? Yeah. So yeah, that was like my first experience. Like, whoa, this is a real thing. Like, we need to monitor our kids more. Have you had any similar experiences with just anything alarming with your kids or kids to do with the internet or any type of device?
Well, my own son, my youngest, he's 11 now, but a couple years ago, my oldest, he actually has a YouTube channel, and my youngest was on his YouTube channel, and he loves playing the video games. And so at that time, I wasn't familiar with they can play with people, as long as they're online across the world, or all different things like that. So I'm in the grocery store, I get the notification, because I linked my son's account to mine so I can always monitor what he's doing. But my youngest son didn't know that. So I'm getting notifications and, like, video up, and I'm looking at the video because it's a live video. This boy is cursing with the grown people that he's playing the game with. And I'm looking like, first of all, as a mother, you looking like you haven't introduced this type of language to your children, right, or any of this. And you looking like, I know this ain't my child. Y'all, I left out that grocery store so quick. And he was at my mom's house. Y'all, I took that video game and everything away from him for a whole month. I think it was longer than a month. Yeah, it was probably longer than a month. I think I overdid it. But still, yeah. And even as guarded as I am and careful as I am and different things like that, like, they still will find time or make time to do something. And so, but at that time, it was more of a giving them boundaries and doing different things like that without explaining the dangers and different things to them. So that was the start of me being super open with them, having those conversations, family meetings, and a lot of stuff started happening even more due to that happening. Because I was like, not my child. I felt like a whole failure as a parent. Like, no.
Yeah, and then, like, the people he was online cursing with,
whole grown individuals.
Yeah. And
whole grown individuals.
And that's even, worse. Like, as an adult, I couldn't imagine myself having a conversation with a kid. But again, that, like, to that vulgar language. But again, they're playing with people all over the world. Everybody has different standards. And it's not like the 80s where your neighbors could whoop your butt and send you
Yes.
home. Nowadays, don't nobody care.
They don't.
And it's sad to say that, but we really miss that community aspect when we count that out. So, another thing is just like these apps that parents don't know what they do. We have, and it's some apps I'm still learning about. That our children are using. They're very popular and we don't know the ins and outs. And I'll start off with the first app, which is Snapchat. I'll tell you what Snapchat does. It's like a kind of like a Instagram kind of thing where you can share photos, but there's no timeline. Once you send the photo to somebody, after they view it, it's gone. And then you have a story where you could post about your day and it stays up for 24 hours. Now, the dangers of that with you sending something to somebody and they after they view it is gone is, one, you can't police that. You don't know what your child has sent or what has been sent to them. Mm-hmm. Another recent update to Snapchat is it shows your location. Mm-hmm. At the camera, if you just pinch to zoom, it'll show where you are on the map. And I had so many kids that were, I'll add my mentees on Snapchat, whatever else. I'm not posting anything inappropriate. Plus, I want to see what y'all doing so I can get y'all together. Yes. But a lot of them had their location on. And I'll be like, dude, turn this off. Anybody can see where you are. And there's it's like a thing where people have Snapchat parties. Somebody will post their Snap code and be like, drop your Snapchat name, get more views, get more likes, all that stuff, whatever. And a lot of the kids were just adding everybody under the post, adding this person, adding that person. So with you just adding all these random people because it's a Snapchat party and your location is on, that is dangerous. Yes. Especially that is exposing you to child predators, getting even increasing your risk of getting kidnapped. And it's so many girls, teenage girls, even boys coming up missing. And it's like, how are these numbers so high to the point where the police department is not even like, oh, another one? I think social media has a huge influence on that and how they manage screen time. So, yeah.
And being careful with the location in general, and that's what all of the apps that we'll discuss with you all today, from Facebook to Instagram to Snapchat, that location is so vital. And sometimes it's not just within the app itself. Mm-hmm. You'll have to go to your phone and turn off the actual physical location from your settings. And another thing, when you accept, like, when you log in and they have like that accept, once we or our youth, our mentees, our children hit that yes or accept, everything is on, and you have to go in that app and turn off the things that you don't want on. Yeah. Because they don't even realize what's all on if they're not educated on it.
Yeah, and on the iPhone it'll say allowed to use your location, stuff like that. And kids, when they download stuff, they just like yep. They're just hitting yes to everything. And so they don't know that it's using their location. Then another thing I've heard about Snapchat, they have premium Snapchat accounts where you can pay to view this Snapchat account because the account has nudity. Mm-hmm. And it's like, whoa, y'all done moved from websites to integrating into social media apps. And it's like parents got their children on these apps and don't even know. So pay attention to what purchases your child is making and what kind of privileges you allow them to do when it comes to these apps. So yeah, Snapchat, I would definitely say for my child, unless there's no reason, or unless I'm like confident in who they are and I know they're educated and they've shown me they're responsible to not get involved in these type of things, I wouldn't allow my child on Snapchat. That's just me personally. It's too risky. You can't police it. And it's really just not even necessary. Yeah. Like, you could chat with your friends and text message. Exactly. You can send them pictures on Instagram. Like, Snapchat is just unnecessary to me for kids. So.
And it's with knowing your child too.
Yeah.
With my oldest, I would have a problem with him having Snapchat, which he does not. A lot of apps my sons, I just won't let them get as far as social media. But it's not necessarily that I don't trust my sons. I more don't trust the other people that would have access to my children
Yes.
once I allow them on them apps. So again, there's no right or wrong way. It's just knowing your child, and a lot with knowing your child is just being super intentional with building those relationships with them. Even with having them to feel comfortable enough to share with you, because it's so much inappropriate stuff that goes on. If they're sent an inappropriate picture or inappropriate messages, hopefully I pray that my sons would that we have that relationship where they feel comfortable, like, Mom, I got this inappropriate message, or this, like, Mom, how, what, versus them don't feel like they can come and talk to me and discuss, and then that leads into something else, and then that leads into something else.
Yes, definitely. I totally agree with all of that. And even like a part of me wanting to do this podcast, and in my program we have this card game we play, and we pull out different cards and ask the question. And one of the questions was, why are you comfortable talking to your parents? If not, why not? And we got into this whole discussion of why people in the room. It was literally like 2 out of 15 girls that were like, oh, I talk to my parents about everything. And they were saying all their reasons why. No, because of this, because of that. And we'll have an episode later on healthy conversations with your kids. But it was just crazy to me how many of them didn't talk to their parents just about what they were going through or things they were exposed to. And it was like, I'll talk to my big sister, I'll talk to a friend, or I'll talk to my aunt. And some of them not talking to anybody. But as parents, like Dominik said, we have to take initiative to build relationships with our kids so that they are comfortable. I saw this post on social media that said, I want my children, when they get in tough situations, instead of thinking, oh no, mom's gonna kill me, but oh no, let me call mom, she'll know what to do.
Yes.
And since I saw that, it like changed something in me. Like, mom will know what to do. Like, that's the relationship I want to keep. And so we'll get into that in another episode. Maybe it'll be the next one.
Yeah, you're right. Go ahead.
No, I was done.
When you were saying that, I think about the fear of reverence. Like, we're believers, so to fear God is our earth, our heavenly Father. But a lot of people like to be scared of Him. We don't want our children to be scared of us. Yeah. But we do want them to respect us, to honor us, and build that relationship with us. And that's the same fear that God is talking about. He wants us to reverence Him, honor Him, and willingly want that relationship with Him. And so I feel like parenting is the same. Yeah. So the more that I say, like, there's no manual to parenting, there isn't one in the earth. But as we grow in relationship with Christ, like, that, how He parents us is our manual for parenting.
Ooh, it's a word. Come on. That's good. That's good. So yeah, that is good. And sometimes that could be tainted in how you view God. We were just talking about how we think God is just condemning us and chastising us because we always hear, this is simple, this is this. But when really He's like, hey, this is wrong, but here's my grace. Let's just go do it right together. Yes. So I think changing that perspective first of you viewing God as just wanting to punish you, knowing that through Jesus Christ we have grace. So yeah. Okay, next app. That was good. That was a whole word. But next app, these are kind of together. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and I think because they have a lot of the same features. Each one of these can be useful. My son does have an Instagram. He uses on his iPad, but it's also on my phone. So I see anything that comes and goes, and he be so uninterested in. He just be wanting to look at the fun pages he follow, the stunt pages, the nurse page, the ninja stuff, and post his little experiments. But I be the one like, who is this messaging him? Who is this responding to his story? Which is, I monitor how the pages ran. It's like some people, even people in my family, they follow him, but I don't follow them back. And I'll let them know, like, hey, thanks for adding Amadi, but I'm not going to follow you back because I don't want him to see what you posting. And honestly, he don't want to anyway. And they be like, oh no, that's cool, because they know how they live, they know what they posting, and like, you turning up, you doing whatever, like, well, they don't want them to see it anyway. But Instagram and Twitter are kind of the same way, but the dangers of it that I believe is, one, you have a lot of access to adults. If you're gonna let your child have these, I would say monitor who's on their friends list, who's messaging them, and things like that. Because I've seen situations where older men are in girls' inboxes, and it could be like, "Oh, you look so cute." It can come off innocent, but then they'll take the conversation to something else, and you not even knowing if you don't have that relationship with your child. Another thing is the pictures. Anybody can post anything, and sometimes adults forget that. Oh, your little cousin's on your Facebook page, and you posting this video that has, exotic dancers in it, or just something you saw that like a child just shouldn't be exposed to until they're ready. Or even if you know about it, I don't think it's healthy for your eyes to continually see something like that. Right. So yeah, so those are my things with Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
One for me that I learned, I believe, a couple of years ago, that a lot of parents don't know if you're not active on these accounts, are that there's different. So when you post the pictures and the statuses, it goes way beyond that. So there are different groups as well. You have public groups, you have private groups, and you have secret groups. Mm-hmm. Public groups, anyone can see. Private groups, you can see it, but someone inside of the group has to add you to be a part of the group. And then secret groups, no one can see them unless they are in the group. So it can be Parent Trap 414. If you are not in that group, or you don't personally get a request, you can type it in there and you'll never see it because it'll never show up. Wow. Someone has to intentionally add you in the group. Yeah. And so stuff like that is nerve-wracking too, because I've seen requests from certain groups that are inappropriate to people, and so I'm like, I didn't know that this stuff exists.
Yeah, that is dangerous. And you never know like what is out there that your child is involved in, or who's really behind the screen. Right. That's a danger with those too. Like, you got oh my gosh, this one is the worst. The Facebook calling feature.
I don't like it.
I hated it.
I do not like it.
Like, why is that okay?
As long as you are a person. So what that is if you have like the Messenger app, as long as that person is your friend, they don't even have to be your friend, I don't think.
They could be your friend. I think the prerequisite is either A, be your friend, or B, you message them back. Okay. Because it was somebody I messaged. I responded to something, and it was like, this person now has the ability to call you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
well, I've had a couple people, and it wasn't inappropriate. However, I still didn't like the fact that people that I didn't give my number still had access to me. Yeah. And so they don't have your number, but through Facebook and the Messenger, they can call you if they're on your friend. They can hit the call button and it pops up. And not only can they call you, they actually have one where you can see each other.
Yeah, it's a video one. I don't know. I know the iPhone does it.
Android does it as well, because I have Android. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, that's too much to me. And it's like, if you don't have my number, it's a reason. Like, so that is annoying. And I was going to get off Messenger at one point because of it. But I utilize it so much with networking and being so active in the community, and people wanting to utilize my services. It's more helpful than it's hurtful. And I just like unapologetically hit decline.
So, and we're not saying that these apps are just like horrible, bad. Right. They can definitely be used in a positive way. We are just saying, based on your child's maturity, knowing your child, and I don't care if we feel like we know our children. Our children can do completely different stuff when they're out of our sight. So just still, as a parent, putting up those boundaries and just being, cautious, and even educating ourselves on what's out there and what could happen and what is going on with these apps, because there's the positive part, but then there's a whole lot going on behind the scene that we may or may not be aware of.
Yes, this is just to educate you guys. So the next one is TikTok. And this one is a little new. A lot of parents don't even know that this app even exists. Like, what's that? Looking at is this a timekeeper or my baby being responsible? They got TikTok.
What did it
No,
used to be called?
it used to be called Musically.
Yeah, yes.
So yeah, this app is basically, sometimes you see the kids singing in the phone with the little effects or doing certain dance routines to a clip of a song. They're using TikTok. I'm still learning TikTok. I'll probably let Dominique elaborate a little bit more. One of my concerns was just like, a girl in my family logged in on my phone on TikTok. Like, her mom knew she had the account, whatever. And she stayed logged in, and I ended up opening it one day and seeing just like a video of her dancing, which was fine, her dancing, but she had on some very little shorts, and the type of moves she was doing kind of exposed a little bit of her private area. Like, I don't care, you a kid, your underwear should not be nowhere online, get that out of here. So I deleted the video off her page because I'm savage like that. Delete. No, I don't need your permission. And I just talked to her about it, and I haven't seen anything alarming since then. But also, even scrolling through some of her friends, it's like, yeah, I know you enjoy dancing. I don't want to over sexualize you, but I also don't want to make you a target for someone's lack of self control. And yeah, you dancing in your dance attire, you whatever else, but it's just be careful when you dipping low and when you whatever, that I don't see your private areas. And that was like my major concern with that. And it's like, when you post something on TikTok, everybody can see it. It doesn't have to be friends.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was like a concern. But overall, it seems like a lot of the kids have fun on there, just sharing different dance moves. And I know the dance community is huge right now. So that is like a positive outlet for them to embrace their gift. I would just say monitor how what they're putting out there and stuff
and
like that.
And anything with Messenger, because like again, TikTok still has the format where you can send messages to whoever. So anything where your child can send or receive a message is something to just be like, okay, let me either see what's in these boxes or what's being sent out. I have to do a little bit more research. I don't know if the messages go away after it's sent or if they stay there, but you can send and receive messages on there as well as doing the videos.
Yeah. And I think one and it's just this experience one of the girls that I mentored dealt with. She's a little bit heavier, and she posted something and somebody made a comment about her body, and the world can see this, and everybody else was chiming in. It was a body shaming comment. Everybody else was chiming in, and she just made this video like, I'm just so tired and all of this. I already don't feel comfortable about myself, but I'm trying to embrace it. I just don't care anymore. I'm just gonna stop. And you should never feel like you have to shrink because of something somebody else said. But all of these apps, your kids are at risk of cyberbullying.
Yes.
So just monitor like what's being said to them, not in a way to, go start a fight, to turn up, get the squad. We ain't doing all that.
Right.
But I'm saying a way to counterattack these feelings that are trying to manifest in your child, so that you know what's going on with them, and teach them like proper self-care. Don't feel bad about removing. I don't care if you are in my class and we doing a science project together. You're making nasty comments, I'm removing you.
Right.
And be okay with that. Teach them to be okay with not everybody not being their friend. So, yeah.
Another thing, if you do know or you feel comfortable allowing your children to use the social media apps, just having those conversations of making sure that they are aware with what they're posting, that it never goes away once they post it.
Yeah.
So pictures, like, we hit delete, but even parents, if we don't know that, I want to make it clear that whatever we post online, it never goes away. It's out there in cyber world. We think it goes away once we hit the delete, but it does not. And that's even on our phones. If you take pictures on your phone and you delete those pictures off your phone, there is a app called Disk Driver. If you load that, it takes a lot of so I normally load it and then look at the pictures or re-get the pictures that I wanted that I deleted, and then delete it back off my phone. But even apps like that, if there is a whole disc driver, yes, no, I'm sorry, not disc driver, disc digger.
Okay.
So if you add that on your phone, it has to be that phone though. So every picture that you ever taken on that phone, they all pop up.
Wow.
So I did mine the other day, and it was like 8,000 some pictures that popped up on my phone. Pictures that I took years ago, because I've had this phone for years.
Wow.
And they all pop up. So it never is deleted. So that's something to make sure that our babies know that, and that we know that as well. Like statuses, pictures, that comes back to haunt you in the long run if you're going for this job. Or look at the one, I'm not big into politics, but the one politician that was running for something, and something that happened to him when he was 17 came back up now. So we just have to be mindful and make sure that we're educating our babies on stuff like that, because it never goes away.
Yes, that's crazy. I'm gonna look into that app. I deleted some stuff on accident. I need to retrieve. So we talk about the positive. A disc digger.
I'm looking for one for the text messages, but the disc digger definitely does your get your pictures. Yes.
Yeah. So the next app is YouTube. We all know about YouTube. You can get on there and watch videos, tutorials, and YouTube, like all these apps have their good things, but YouTube has been a blessing to this generation, child. I'm telling you, people on there making millions of dollars doing toy reviews and hair blogs. I need to tap in. What y'all want to review? University. What y'all want to learn?
YouTube University.
I need y'all to inbox me what y'all want to learn so I can start my YouTube channel, okay? But people really becoming millionaires off YouTube, and it's crazy. The whole lady
that became a millionaire off of eating, she just eats crab legs. That's it. Smack, lick her fingers. Like,
girl, I eat chicken like that. Let me post.
She is a whole bit like no game.
So yeah, as you hear, YouTube can be a blessing, but the dangers of it is, I would say, the content in some of the videos. One. Okay, and this was recent. Sometimes when you see them, like another parent told me this. Sometimes you have to really monitor the things that your child is watching. And what she does is have her subscribe to certain channels that she's checked out, and those are the ones that pop up, and it's like this parental control thing. But it'll be videos of kids playing with toys. Mm-hmm. But the language they're using and what they're making the toys do can be inappropriate, and it's even adults that are doing that. Like, you playing with Barbie, all of a sudden Barbie and Ken taking off their clothes. What is going on? Like, why are we trying to over sexualize children? Granted, I'm not saying don't have the sex talk with your kids,
right?
But it should be to your standard, at your comfort level, so you can instill your family values, your family beliefs into that child at the age that they're ready.
Yes.
I was at this youth event, and they were saying statistics show that the average person is exposed to the sex by the age of 5, and it was normally through an outside source. And how much does that taint their vision of sex by learning it through a non-pure form or something like degrading, versus you who love your child sitting down talking to your child and, tell them the health concerns, telling them, like, the ins and outs. Like, it's such a difference. And, yeah, I think everybody should have that talk with their kids. It's just a matter of you having the discernment to know what age and what time. Yes. And that should be up on you. YouTube shouldn't decide they want to teach your kid that Barbie and Ken finna hump. Exactly. That should be something you do with your child. Yes. So, yeah. Anything you want to add about YouTube?
YouTube has a lot of great features, like you said, but yes, just being super cautious of the content. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the last two things, I guess, like FaceTime and text message, we'll talk about them together. And y'all pretty much know how text message work and FaceTime work, but I've learned that there is secret text apps.
Yes, there are.
Where you can have a whole app on your phone and send text messages that, are not in your regular message thread.
You never know.
And your parents will never know. Like, that is tricky. I wasn't allowed to date till I was 16. My secret text app was if I hang up.
For
If
real.
I hang up in your face, that just means my mama came home.
No, that's real talk.
Nowadays, yes. So I ain't gonna, we snuck and did it. We know what they be on. But it's just like scary knowing that one, your child has access to anybody around the world due to the internet and social media. Two, your child could even be secretly texting these people and you don't know.
You don't know it. Yeah.
So just being aware. I don't know the names of these apps, but my advice, and I've heard it's a few different ones. My advice to parents would be to open every app on the phone.
Yes.
See what they do. And in a second, we'll talk about different parental controls. But yeah, that's my alarm with that. So yeah. Okay, I guess, is there anything you want to add about texting or FaceTime?
No, you all. I just picked up my phone I put the secret text app and it came up for our iPhone and Android. So it tells you a lot of the names. So even if you have time, hit secret text app for iPhone and Androids. There are too many to name.
Yes.
So there are a lot. And if you ever, when you look them up, and if you see them any on your children's phone, because I'm going to go look at my kid's phone today.
Child, check that out.
I have whole teenagers. Well, my 11-year-old will be 12
Yeah.
soon, but yeah.
Yeah, so
it's too many.
Even going through all these apps, a lot of the concerns is predators.
Yes.
And that secret text could be a big thing. It's a lot of older men that just like younger girls and won't have time for that. Exposure to different things, and we talked about them seeing stuff that's not appropriate, and even cyberbullying with the body shaming and all of that. And you wondering why your child insecure and suicidal. Come to find out, they on this website and everybody just saying Lord knows what to them and having them feel bad about themselves.
And it happens because at my son's school, he was in 6th grade last year. The girl was talking about committing suicide. They were in the Snapchat app and they were taunting her.
And you can't even see it.
You can't see it.
You don't know who said what.
The only way she had proof is because she screenshot it.
Wow.
If she didn't screenshot it, no one would ever. And it was their word against hers.
Yeah.
No one knew what was going on.
Right. And then in school, they can't really discipline stuff that happens outside of school. Beware of that. I've had a lot of parents who are like, oh, well, they were saying this and that and this on this app to my child. The school has no authority over that.
That's a parent issue again. Like, we are responsible for that. Either not saying that we are to blame, but saying that we do have to take responsibility. Yes. And if it's our children that are doing the taunting and the bullying, like, those are real life conversations that we have to sit and have with our children, because we don't want them to go to jail. But in the same sense, we don't want them to be taunting and causing harm and, stress and insecurities on another individual. Like, that's just not right.
Yeah, it's not okay. So, okay, we have given you different warnings and different ins and outs of the apps. Now I want to go into giving you guys tips on how you can monitor it. One, I asked a question on social media, like, what are your concerns about your child and screen time? And a lot of parents gave us some helpful resources. I'll start with one. Megan McCrae said, I use an app called Bark to help monitor my daughter's time on her phone. She also has to leave it on the counter at night and only use it for a couple of hours during the day. So I thought that was great, like the Bark app, and people were commenting like, yeah, I've used Bark too. It's super great. I think that's a great tool for you guys to use, the Bark app, that allows you to monitor your kids. Anything you want to add that you know of about the Bark app? Cool features and things like that.
Well, yes, I love it because it monitors. Well, it's not free. It's a small fee. However, it monitors everything from your children's text to something else we don't realize, our children's email. A lot of our teenagers have like email accounts. their text messages, 24-hour social media access. Like, it monitors literally everything that they upload and download on that phone.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
It's a small fee. However, it's all monitoring it. I'm talking about from sexual predators to the cyberbullying. Like, you can have a grasp on what's going on.
Yeah. Okay, the next one, Candace Terrell said, the girls have iPhones, and with family sharing, I can control all of the app usage. I also block out the time of day where they can have access to apps and screen time. In order to use any of the apps outside of the times, I have slotted, they must send a time request to my phone, and I can grant or deny it. So I know about that. That's free with iPhone. It's family sharing. You just set up under your iCloud with the family sharing account, and from what it sounds like, we got it for purchases. Me and my brother share an account, and my nephew is also on it, and we got it for him. Started using it for him purchasing different things. So both of our phones, a request will come to, if it's something I know that he's trying to do and I know of it, like, oh, I'll just accept it. But if I don't, I'll just leave it for his dad to monitor, or I'll send him a screenshot like, hey, he's trying to download this. So I think that's great. I didn't know it allows you to block out the phone during certain times. So that's great. So when they're at school, you can block it out. And from what I know of, do some research, but from what I know of, during these blockout times, they can still call mom and dad and stuff like that. So it's not going to limit them from emergency situations. It just won't allow them to use the internet and certain stuff during those times. So that is great. Do you know much about iPhone family sharing?
No.
Okay.
I'm still on Team Android. However, the Bark app is $9 per month or $99 for the year.
Okay.
Which is a good investment when you're thinking about your child's safety. Yes. I mean, I spend $9 a month on snacks. So.
Right.
Which I need not to.
That's hilarious. But yeah, I probably spend that a week. No. The last one, Jessica Buckley said, I use Family Link to monitor my son. I can block apps, set timers, and track his locations. It costs $1. I'm not sure if that's $1 a month, $1 a week, but the name of that app was Family Link. And Dominique has some more apps that she's going to share that you can use to monitor your child on their devices.
Yes, so I have the top 10 parental control apps, and of course, Bark was rated number 1, the full 5 stars. Number 2 is it Custodio? It's Qustodio, and that's 5 stars as well. And then we have Norton that came in as number 3, and that's Norton. And Norton is basically what you can get at iPhone, your Androids, laptops, computer, desk computers or whatnot, and it pretty much does the same thing with the social media and all that as well. And good. You can do the same thing as far as you can literally put in and say you don't want them to go on this site. They'll put www.facebook.com and it'll never pop up if you say you don't want them to go on that. So it's pretty cool as well.
That's good.
You have Web Watcher. We have Esser. We have Eset, ESET. Net Nanny, which sounds pretty dope. The Family Time app. Did you talk about Family Time?
I think it was Family Link.
Okay, yeah. So we have Family Time, and then we have one called Screen Time, one called Circle, and then for the parents that have teens, we have one called Teen Safe.
Okay. So those are some good resources, and I'll put some of those links in the show notes. And if you want more information, Dominique will share on her page, Cedar Connections, which we'll talk about in a moment. And you guys can get a list of all those apps as well as some other great parenting tools, which we'll talk about. But before we get into that, we want to talk about time management. Like, why is it important that you monitor the time of use that your children has on these apps? One, whatever you feed is going to grow. If they're just looking at a screen, consuming everything, they're not learning about themselves. You're not learning about them. They aren't exploring their talents and being social and communicating and just being active. So I think it's definitely important for them to step away from the screen. We know that it's beneficial. We have a very technology driven world, but let's not forget we still have things right in front of us that give us the great experiences, like the whole thing with watching kids play with toys versus actually playing with them yourself. So um during that time, Dominique, earlier in the show, you said that you took the game away from your son for a few months.
Yes, Lord.
What did you do during that time? Because, of course, that's probably like what he did most of the time. So, how did you transition that?
So for him, it felt probably like a curse or like a punishment, in the beginning. But for all of us, it ended up being some of the best years ever. And a lot of the things that we started doing from that time, we still do now. Um, at first, it was difficult, much prayer, because I'm like, okay, Father, like, what do I do with these boys? I was full time at work at that time. I was in the nursing field, so I'm working at the VA hospital. Plus, still in school. Plus, a mom. So I'm like, okay, God, like help me. Like I'm taking this away, but what am I going to do? So I started doing themed Monday movie nights, and so every Monday, based on what the movie was that they selected, I would cook dinner, and all of our food and our setups would be based around whatever that movie was. And we still have movie nights now. However, they're older now, so we don't do like all of the food options. We do it here and there, but we still have our Monday movie nights. And we've been doing that from 2008 till now, and it's 2019. So yeah. And then on Thursdays, we have our 30-minute Thursdays, which would be intentionally no screen time. So during the week, when my boys are in school, they feel like I'm mean anyway. I don't do TV in my home during the school year, during school weeks. We intentionally focus on spending time together, and so that 30-minute Thursday arose from that too. And it was like no TV, no phones, no anything dealing with a screen. And we either built like volcanoes, or we would do karaoke as a family, or we would cook together or bake together. So any type of activities, we would do sumo wrestler, put pillows under the big shirts and knock each other out. I have boys, and I'm a big child at heart as well. I'm talking about like Nerf gun fights throughout the house. My house is a living quarter, so I don't believe that the living room is off duty. I believe that you are in a house to live, so we live and have our best life. And so just scheduling everything, I started scheduling what we were having, so they knew, like we have a calendar right now. It's still up there. They're not home right now, but when they are here every day of the week, they know like what they're going to eat. They know what their chore. Like I got so organized when it came to their time. So chores is this. This is what chores look like. This is what dinner looks like for the week. This is what our activities look like for the week. And another big thing was our conversations. I created these jars, and one of our jars was our family time jar, family conversations. And during dinner time, we would just talk. I mean, I have boys that don't like to talk to me, but they will share. And I started knowing them, like what their strengths was, what their weaknesses was, what they liked, what they didn't like. And I would have never had the opportunity to get to know them as much as I grew to know them within these years if I wasn't intentional with that. But then the same thing if that wouldn't have happened.
Right.
So sometimes we look at things like, oh, my child has done this, or I'm a horrible parent, or this. But sometimes we're so busy and we're on the go and we're distracted by so many things in life, our job. We have careers, we're entrepreneurs, we're wives, we're this and that. But we also have to make sure that we stay intentional with being a mom.
Yes.
Because if we don't, like, our children are going to either explore it on their own or never forget that the world is always teaching them something, and it may not be what we want them to learn or the
Girl.
way that we want them to learn it.
Girl. Yes. So that is just like inspiring. I hope some of you, wrote down some tips, hit the rewind
And I
button,
share
listen a little
so
bit.
much on my page.
Yes.
So, yep,
Yeah.
webpage www.cedarconnections.com, as well as I'm on every form of social media, so it's not bad.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
Facebook is cedarconnections.com. Cedarconnections.com. I'm Cedar Connections on Facebook, Cedar Connections on Instagram, Cedar Connections on YouTube. I'm starting my YouTube channel. I only have 2 videos right now, but it's parenting tips and just videos of me and my boys. And on Twitter, it's Cedar Connects. So not Cedar Connections, but Cedar Connect.
Okay.
And everything that I've shared, from pictures to tips to what I do or how you can do it or does this work, even from just a group, because I also have a group, Cedar Connections, where it's just parents and we just share tips. This worked, this didn't work, what's working for you. I'm struggling with this, I'm having a challenge with this, because that's what it's about.
Yes.
I believe that there is no manual to parenting. You learn as you grow, and you grow with the flow.
Yes.
And we should do it together.
So in a second, we're going to talk a little in depth about Cedar Connections, because Dominik got some great things that I think you guys will utilize. But just piggybacking off that time management piece, what Dominik doesn't know is during that time, she was such an inspiration to me as a mom. I used to watch her post all these movie nights and all these activities she was doing, and I used to be like, oh, this looks so fun, I want to do it. And it is like, you got a whole son, go do it. But there was a point in time where he was struggling real bad in school, and I took away the TV on weekdays. And that was just to keep him focused, because my child is the type, once you take him there, you there. Like, he was going to a school that would come in the morning, hype them up, they'd get lit. Then they calling me, oh, Amadi won't sit down. Duh, y'all just got lit. He ready to stay lit. Like, that was his thing. Like, he can't revert back. And we're still learning balance. It's 5-something years later. But during that time, he'll be like, I don't know what I'm going to do, this and that. Figure it out. And he would watch TV on Saturdays. So Saturday morning, he was hooked to the TV watching Arzuka, because we didn't have cable. I was cheap. Still is cheap. We ain't got it now. Whatever.
That part.
Don't need it.
I don't need it.
So during the week, he would be like, I'm just going to make this thing that Arzuka did. And he got so into it, like just making stuff and creating stuff, to where like right now he's Amadi the Inventor. Follow him on Instagram and Facebook. Amadi the Inventor. He makes toys out of recycled materials. He builds stuff. Oh, and this summer he started a business. He fixed bikes. Some kids in the neighborhood needed their bike fixed. They come knock on the door like, can Amadi come fix my bike? And he was just like, came back. I said, you fixed it? He said, yeah, that was easy. They owe me $5 though. And then he like, oh, I'm going to start a business. So he be fixing bikes, cutting grass. Yeah. Even at his school, it was like a heater that was out or something. And one of the kids was like, Amadi fixed stuff. Have him come do it. Girl, he came and fixed the heater. Took it apart, did something. So it's like this gift got developed through me taking away screen time and allowing him to be pushed into other things. And now, like, he's 11 years old and be having more spending money than me. I'm like, where you get that from? Oh, I was by my dad's house and I cut this person grass, or I was here and somebody needed this fix and they gave me $2. Like, the boy be hustling. I'm like, oh, okay, go ahead. But I'm saying all that not to brag like I'm the best parent ever, because you gonna hear, if you're listening, some issues that I go through, parenting, co-parenting, all of that. But this is just to inspire you of a move that I made that was not normal, that was not the cultural thing to do, that my family would have been like, let that boy watch TV. Da, 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 da. But me making that move allowed so much more to be brought out in my child. So if you
I'm telling you.
Yeah, you fearful, yeah, your child gonna be the outcast, they'll be the only one that's not on their tablet, but guess what, you're gonna they're going to thank you in the long run. You're going to benefit greatly from other things that your kid will explore. So
just look at it in general, like from the creator to the writer to anyone that started any type of business. As long as we were being busy and being occupied doing something that is not allowing us to think, use our own mind, and to explore and use our imagination, like we will continue to do those things.
Yeah.
But the minute those things are taken away from you, I knew that I could write poetry when I was in the third grade, when I couldn't go outside, because that was my consequence. I did something I ain't had no business. I couldn't go outside. Boom, I'm sitting in the house thinking I can't do nothing. Pulled out this book and realized that I can make these words sound magnificent when put together. Or how they're creative with Legos, like little architects. Like, it's just so many gifts that are stored in them. As parents, we have to let them explore and see that, so that we can begin to nurture those.
Yes, and they definitely go into survival mode. Another thing I want to add is, like, now he's a little older, so he does watch more, but because his foundation was built on being creative, when he's on the internet, he's watching videos on how to make stuff, how to do this. The boy know how to start a campfire. He knows all these random scientific facts and all these how to build stuff and make stuff from going to watch videos about these different things. And I just think that's amazing. And it's like, yeah, you started out off without this, but now you know who you are and what you're called to do, so you're able to use this to benefit your gift. So yeah, you get in screen time, and this is not me going to tell him watch it. I'll just come in, what you watching? Oh, I'm trying to see how to build an igloo, because yeah, he made an igloo. We had the polar vortex this winter in the house for 4 days, but this boy built an igloo, and it was a strong igloo. It stayed up for like a week. So watching YouTube videos. But okay, now for us to get into Cedar Connections. So Cedar Connections is Dominik's platform. It's her baby. It's her thing. I'm going to let her talk about whatever she wants to share with you guys concerning Cedar Connections. And then we're going to ask her some questions and close out the show.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
So like Laria was saying, like, we felt like parenting was the trap. And as long as you'll ever know me, I always say, like, there is no manual to parenting.
Yeah.
There's no manual to motherhood, to fatherhood. We just learn as we grow, and we grow with the flow.
Yeah.
And so I noticed over time, like, how the Parent Trap was birthed was pretty much how Cedar Connections was birthed. Like, Father, like, there are so many parents that are going through things, and we are looked at as parents as like we don't know what we're doing, or this and that. But it's like, where are the manuals? No one's teaching us anything.
Yeah.
No one's walking with us or alongside us with on our journey with anything. And so that's the bulk of Cedar Connections. My goal or vision is cultivating families one connection at a time. And I strive to encourage and do life with parents and create meaningful connections that basically cultivate families. I feel like if the parents are cultivated, what do parents do? They cultivate their children, and in return, the children go out and they are doing the same. And it starts at home. What we see in the community, from the schools, like, as parents, we can't blame the school system. We can't blame the community. We can't blame anyone when it comes to the community. We all have to look within ourselves and say, okay, either we're going to work together to build, to cultivate, to grow, and then our children will do the same. So that is my heart. My heart is parenting. My heart is family as a whole. I came up with some core values that I feel like every family needs, and it's just my core values for Cedar Connections. I feel like every child and family in general, we need consistency. No matter whether we think so or not, like, children love routine. They love consistency. They love knowing, like, what's coming, what's happening. And as adults, we do too. No matter how we look at it, sometimes you can't control everything, but there's something about knowing, like, going with the flow. And then my L is love. Love, love, love. Love is tied with grace. Love is tied with mercy, love is just tied with like walking. There are going to be things like those disappointments or things that your children do that upset you, where you feel like, oh, I did something wrong. And it's not you, it's not that child. We are learning. They are learning as they grow as well. And so we have to learn to love them through those processes. Intentionality, we have to be intentional. Like, if there is nothing on this earth that you have to be more intentional with besides building your relationship with Christ, I believe is parenting. Like, you have to be so intentional. It's not like a day by day. I wake up, I'm just going with the flow. We gonna grow with the flow, but we definitely have to be intentional with that flow and with that growing with our children. Respect is so big. We feel like we need respect as parents, but I found that children respect you when you respect them. And I do not live in the age of what goes on in my house stays in my house. I don't live in the age of I'm the adult. What I say is what goes. I have family meetings with my children. I give them the floor to express themselves, to share who they are, because in that, they are finding out who they are. Like, I don't want them to be who I want them to be. I want them to be who they were created to be.
Yes.
And that comes about with respecting them, with them knowing that they are a whole individual. So that's so important for me. And then fun. Like, every family needs fun after the crying, after the struggles, after the disappointments, after the consequences, after whatever goes on. Like, you need to have some days where it's just fun. Like, I don't care if you ain't got no money in your pocket. Put on a movie, pop some popcorn, have fun, play a board game, run around the house, play tag. Like, have fun with each other. Not you go outside and play with them. Let your hair down, put your hair in a bun, run.
Play tag with them.
Yes.
Get the crate and play basketball.
So, yes, that CLURF. Consistency, love, intentionality, respect, and fun. I believe that is so important. But then and again, there's no manual to parenting. So your view may be completely different, and that's okay. But yeah, let's grow together as parents.
Okay, so I have some questions for you. And I think one, you already talked about this one a little bit, but what are personal activities you do to keep your children balanced with technology? I know you mentioned the movie nights already. What else do you guys have in place for that?
The movie nights are 30-minute Thursdays, which we don't do as much. In this season, our 30-minute Thursdays have turned into, we just make sure that we spend time together. I make sure that I take them somewhere at least once a week. So whether we're going to y'all don't forget about the library. When you ain't got no money, take your children to the library. Saturday, at least in Milwaukee, we're from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Every Saturday they have free events for families at the library. Different places. So even just knowing what's going on in your city, money does not have to be an issue, or just making sure that you're doing something with them. So just spending time with them. My boys are very active now. My 14-year-old, he plays basketball. He's on one of those AAU basketball teams. So now I'm fitting their schedule into my schedule. It's not about what I want to do with them anymore. It's about the things that they love, and now me being intentional about being a part of the things that they love.
Yeah, that's
so
good.
He loves basketball, so now I'm a basketball mom. I don't even like basketball, but he don't know that. I be cheering. They call me the basketball groupie mom. I be cheering for my son like crazy. I cheer the other teams on like. So my youngest son, I have him in baseball because I had to get him away from them video games.
Yeah.
But it's just finding time, making time to do what it is that they like. I'm intentional with school, so when they have school events, being present there. But yeah, just making time or involving myself in what they're already doing.
Yeah. What can parents do who need additional support? I know you mentioned going to the library, but anything else do you have in reference to that, like for parents who are like, okay, I don't really know what to do?
Yes. So like I said, you can always research what's going on. Like you can put Google like fun things to do in whatever state you live or whatever city you live. So fun things to do in Chicago, fun things to do in St. Louis with the family, and those places will come up. They even have, if you can put like free things to do if you don't have a budget or different things like that. But arts and crafts, reading books together, puppet shows, Play-Doh fun. Like even Pinterest is such.
Yes.
If you are a mom and you have not heard of Pinterest, please save it. Like never forget that name. Pinterest will help you with everything, with parenting, with being a wife, with coming up with, if you don't know how to cook, recipes, fun activity. Pinterest is the go-to for everything. So some of the things that I do as far as the activities, you don't have to be like this super creative person. You can put it on just type it in. Pinterest will give you everything from making Play-Doh, from doing science projects to whatever you need to find out or you want to do. Pinterest will give you the thing for that. And so that, cooking together, scavenger hunts, going to the park, playing together, building stuff together, writing assignments. If you you can give them something to do. I gave them a project where I had them write about their own creation. Then the next day they had to create it using random materials that I gave them. And then the third day they had to try to sell it to me with a commercial. They had fun and it was learning and fun all in the same time. But I was also building that with them. And it doesn't always have to be like our idea of fun. I know some parents like, well, they need to learn. You can still make it fun too. If it's summertime, read to them or read with them or have them read to you. Me and my sons do the same thing even now. 14 and 11, I make them read 30 minutes every day. I remember one time we did story hats. So they read their favorite book, and then I bought the little white hats with the rim little parts on there, and they had to draw what was going on in the story on the hats. And so it's story hats, just fun things. That was not my idea. I got it off Pinterest.
Pinterest for the win. Okay, the last thing. What services does Cedar Connect have to offer for families that they can benefit from surrounding the topic of balancing their screen time and activities with their kids?
So we do offer coaching, which is one-on-one, as well as family coaching. I have something called Cedar Closet, which is right now it's an online closet, and basically is more for mothers. So I found myself at one point in time not getting dressed, not just like taking care of myself anymore, and feeling like everything had to be about my children. Like I gotta do this, but losing myself in that process. And I feel like as women, we cater to everyone else, and sometimes we lose sight of like who we are, and we don't have to lose ourselves to be a mom or lose ourselves to be a wife or forget who we are to be this entrepreneur. We can be ourselves in all of those hats because we are her first, and then we're adding to that. So with Cedar Closet, it's more of building up. I call it Godfidence. Like we can't, but God can. And it's just restoring that. So giving women back or building out or pulling out that confidence, your true beauty in you, and even doing it in a inexpensive way. I go through like different ways where you can put together, recreate outfits with what you have or a look that you're going for. So different things in that aspect. Cedar Creations is more of opportunities to build and grow. So I create experiences for families to connect. Some together, play dates, and then some are opportunities just for moms where we just get together, we connect, we let our hair down. I had spa events for moms where we just get together, we get our feet done. So it's just creating the space for both parenting and connecting the family as a whole. But then again, sometimes as moms, we just need that time and space for ourselves with other mothers to just connect and just not even talk about our children, just to be. So okay. And I love what I do. Oh, my Cedar echoes of encouragement. I love Laria. She's like, when you love what you do, You're just like, I just serve. I
Yeah.
serve parents. That's it.
I'm
So
like,
with my
it's something
jar,
else.
I have jars that I created during that time, and it was, I believe, 8 jars or maybe 6, 7, 8 jars that God gave me during that time. One is family time jar, so it has 3 different color sticks. One when you have money, one when you have a little money, and it's little planning, and one that takes planning, and money.
Yeah.
And then I have the get along jar, which is when your children are not getting along. My boys argued all the time. And so I have 2 sticks in there for grace. If they pull those, then they just get grace for that day. But the other sticks in the jar are things that they have to do for each other or for the other person. So if they're arguing with each other and my oldest started the argument, then he'll have to pull a stick and he may have to do his brother chores for that day. So that's the get along jar. I have a date night jar. I'm big on, like I said, the whole family. So that's for you and your spouse. I have the family time conversation, which is like the dinner time. Or you can pretty much use that at any time. We just use it at dinner time. What other one do I have? I'm forgetting. I have 6 total. My mind is just, it's leaving me now.
No, that's okay. So as long as you touch bases on them. So you can check out any of Dominik's services on her website, which is www.cedarconnections.com.
Yes.
Yes. And can you say your social media handles one more time?
Yes. So Cedar Connections for Facebook, Cedar Connections for Instagram, and Cedar Connects. So connects with just connect with the S for Twitter, and then Cedar Connections as well for YouTube.
Okay, so and the link to her website and her social media handles will be in the show notes. You guys definitely use her as a resource. I don't know about you, but those jars, for those of you who need help and are like, I don't really know what to do, the jars sound like an amazing start, and then letting that develop into, whatever it is. Or if you want to start with coaching, I ain't gonna force you to start with the jars. I just love the jars.
Or even if you want to just do it on yourself, I also have, we talked about screen time, and that's what this is about. So I do have 60-minute interactive screen-free kits. So it focuses just on family time, and it's different activities in it. So if you're like, I'm a mom that I don't know about Pinterest, I don't know what to plan, I don't know what, you can just purchase one of those kits, and within that kit is 60 minutes of activities to do. And some of them come with the things to do the activities, the instructions, everything. So with those kits, you don't even need to know how to do anything. I've done all the work. You just get it.
That's dope. See, I didn't even know about those kits. She's just a hidden jewel. But okay, so just some other resources. Of course, Cedar Connections. One for those in Milwaukee, MKE Moms Blog. Go to their website, follow them on Instagram. They have some great activities. They're always posting free events, and they're just an amazing network. In Milwaukee as well, Hope Network for Single Mothers. It's a $5 a year membership, but they send you holiday gift cards. They send you coupons. Sometimes they'll send an email like, hey, we got 10 free Brewers tickets. First people to respond, you can pick them up and go. Like, it's an amazing network to be a part of. Also, Milwaukee Public Schools Recreation, MPS Recreation, and those in different cities. Maybe your public school system has a recreation program where they have mommy and me, daddy and me, or whole family classes at low cost for low income families. But even outside of that, the cost is very affordable. For those of you nationwide, libraries and your YMCAs, and check out the information boards in your library, because they have different resources as well for whatever in your community. So that wraps up our show. Hopefully, you guys took a lot from it on screen time, different activities you can use, and even different resources that you can tap into to monitor your child to make sure they're safe from predators, they're not being overexposed, and whatever else goes on online, that you are shepherding your children and know what is going on in their life. Thank you for tuning in to our first episode. Again, this is the Parent Trap Podcast, and I'm your host, Laria, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks.